Have you ever been driving down the highway and found yourself staring at a brand new pickup truck that costs more than a small house? You know the one I am talking about. The gleaming monster with chrome everywhere, leather seats that cost more than your monthly mortgage, and a presence that screams success. But here is the chilling reality we face in 2026. The person behind the wheel of that $70,000 vehicle likely has less than $10,000 in their bank account. The average new car payment in America has now climbed to an incredible $738 per month. For many households, this is the single largest expense after housing, and it is quietly destroying their chance of ever reaching a secure retirement. It is a financial tragedy hidden in plain sight, disguised as reliable transportation. Before we dive into the mechanics of how this trap works and how you can escape it, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us share these important financial truths with more people who need to hear them. Also, please leave a comment below and tell us if you think a $1,000 car payment has become the new normal in your neighborhood. Now let's look at why so many intelligent people are falling into this cycle of wealth destruction. The automotive industry in 2026 has become incredibly sophisticated at selling you a monthly payment instead of a total price. When you walk into a dealership, they do not ask you if you can afford a $60,000 truck. They ask you how much you can afford to pay each month. This is the first layer of the trap. By shifting your focus to the monthly outflow, they blind you to the total cost of ownership over the long term. They use complex financing structures to make a massive debt look like a manageable expense. By stretching loan terms to 84 or even 96 months, they lower the monthly number just enough to fit into your budget. But a 7 or 8-year car loan is a financial horror movie. By the time you reach year 4 or 5, that shiny vehicle has lost 40% of its value, but you still owe nearly the full original balance to the bank. This is what experts call negative equity, or being underwater on your loan. In 2026, we are seeing a record number of people who owe $20,000 more than their car is worth. They are effectively paying interest on an asset that is disappearing right before their eyes. If they want to sell the car, or if they get into an accident, they have to write a check for thousands of dollars just to get out of the debt. But there is another even more subtle trap that has become popular in 2026, and that is the luxury lease. Leasing is often marketed as a way to drive a better car for a lower payment, but it is actually the most expensive way to operate a vehicle. You are paying for the most rapid period of depreciation in the car's life. And at the end of 3 years, you have absolutely nothing to show for it. You are essentially a permanent renter of a metal box, ensuring that you will always have a car payment for the rest of your life. The psychological grip of this trap is what I call automotive Stockholm syndrome. We have been conditioned to believe that we need a brand new vehicle every few years for the sake of reliability and safety. Marketing departments spend billions of dollars to convince you that your truck is an extension of your identity and your success. They show commercials of rugged men climbing mountains or families laughing in pristine interiors. They tell you that you deserve it because you work hard and you should not have to worry about repairs. But the truth is that you are trading your future freedom for a temporary smell of new leather and a bit of social status. You are buying an image of wealth while systematically destroying your actual wealth. Think about the median retirement savings for a household headed by someone in their early 60s. Federal Reserve data shows that number is currently around $200,000. While that might sound like a decent amount, it only produces about $8,000 of annual income using a conservative withdrawal rate. Now, Compare that to the person spending $12,000 a year on car payments, insurance, and maintenance. They are spending more on their driveway than they will have for their entire lifestyle when they stop working. This is the math of the average person, and it is a recipe for a very lean and stressful old age. It is a situation where you might own a beautiful truck, but cannot afford the gas to drive it once your career ends. But it does not have to be your story. The difference between a struggling retiree and a millionaire often comes down to one single decision made 10 or 15 years earlier. That decision is how you choose to handle your transportation costs. Imagine for a moment that you decided to stop the cycle of new car debt today, in 2026. Instead of signing up for a new $800 monthly payment, you choose to drive a reliable used vehicle that is already paid off. Let's look at the math of the alternative path. If you took that same $800 and invested it into a simple index fund earning an average return, the numbers become life-changing. In 15 years, that consistent investment could grow to over $300,000. In 25 years, it could climb toward $1 million. That is the power of compounding interest, working for you instead of against you. Every time you sign a new car loan, you are giving that compounding power to the bank and the manufacturer. You are literally funding their retirement while sacrificing your own. You are working 40 hours a week just to pay for the metal box that carries you to the job you might not even like. The first tipping point in wealth building is when your investments earn more in a year than you contribute. This is a magical moment in your financial life, where your money becomes a second version of you, working 24 hours a day without rest. When your portfolio of $200,000 grows by 10%, that is $20,000 in a single year. That is more than many people save in 3 years of hard work. But you cannot reach that milestone if your surplus cash is being drained by a depreciating hunk of metal and plastic. The second tipping point is even more powerful, and that is when your money earns as much as your full-time job. Imagine having a second version of yourself working silently in the background, earning a second salary for your household. This is how true wealth is built, not by looking rich today, but by owning assets that pay you tomorrow. The automotive industry wants you to believe that used cars are risky and unreliable. They want you to fear the repair shop more than you fear being broke at 75. They use the fear of a $3,000 transmission repair to trick you into a $60,000 debt. But even if you have to spend $3,000 once every 2 years on repairs, it is still thousands of dollars cheaper than a new car payment. In 2026, vehicle technology has advanced to the point where a 5-year-old car can easily last another decade with basic maintenance. A modern engine is built to go 200,000 miles or more. The most successful people I know, the ones with a net worth over $2 million, do not drive the flashiest cars. They are engineers, teachers, and accountants who understood the math early on. They bought cars that were 3 years old, kept them for 10 years, and invested the difference. They chose the freedom of a massive brokerage account over the vanity of a new grille and LED headlights. They understood that true wealth is what you do not see. The money in the bank that gives you the power to say no to a toxic job or an early layoff. We are living in a time where the gap between the appearance of wealth and actual financial security is wider than ever. Social media makes it look like everyone is rich, driving luxury sport utility vehicles and taking exotic vacations. But look closer at the data. 1/3 of high earners making over $200,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. They have high salaries but low net worth. They are trapped in a golden cage of their own making, fueled by high-interest debt and the need to maintain an image. They are one job loss away from total financial collapse because their expenses are so high. If you are feeling the weight of a heavy car payment right now, the best thing you can do is acknowledge the trap. The first step to escaping a hole is to stop digging. You do not have to keep running on this financial hamster wheel. There is an incredible sense of peace that comes when you no longer owe anything to a finance company for the vehicle in your garage. That peace of mind is worth far more than any new car smell. It gives you the flexibility to take risks, to switch careers, or to start a business. It allows you to hit the third tipping point, which is true financial independence. This is when you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio every year and never run out of money. At that stage, work becomes a choice rather than a requirement. As we move further into 2026, the cost of living continues to challenge many families. Inflation has made groceries and housing more expensive, which makes it even more critical to eliminate waste in your budget. A car is a tool to get you from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. When you turn it into a status symbol, it becomes a parasitic drain on your long-term wealth. Think about the opportunity cost of every dollar you spend on interest. That interest is gone forever, never to earn another cent for you. But the dollars you invest are like seeds that grow into a forest over time. $100 invested today could be worth over $1,000 in your retirement. Would you rather have a fancy steering wheel today or an extra $1,000 when you are 70? I want you to think about where you want to be 10 years from today. Do you want to be driving a 10-year-old truck with $1 million in your retirement account? Or do you want to be driving a brand new truck while wondering how you will pay the electric bill when your Social Security check arrives? The choice seems obvious when we speak about it logically, but the marketing machines are designed to make you act emotionally. They want you to feel a sense of lack if you are not driving the latest model. They want you to feel embarrassed by a few scratches or an older entertainment system. But there is no lack in being debt-free. There is no lack in having a fully funded retirement and an emergency fund that can handle anything life throws at you. We must also consider the hidden costs of these massive vehicles. Insurance for a $70,000 truck is significantly higher than insurance for a $15,000 sedan. In 2026, insurance premiums have jumped by 15% on average for high-value vehicles. Fuel costs, maintenance, and registration fees all scale with the price of the vehicle. When you add it all up, the true cost of driving that brand new truck could be $1,500 per month or more. That is $18,000 a year. Over 40 years of a working life, that is nearly $750,000 in raw cash spent on transportation. If you had invested that instead, you would be looking at several $1 million at retirement. This is how the middle class stays the middle class, while the wealthy keep getting wealthier. The wealthy buy assets that go up in value, while the middle class buys liabilities that they think are assets. If this perspective has helped you see your finances in a new light, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm show this message to others who are struggling with the same decisions. We would also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are you planning to drive your current car until the wheels fall off? Or are you tempted by the new models hitting the lots this year? What is the biggest car payment you have ever heard of? Is it worth sacrificing your retirement for a shiny truck? Let's start a conversation about how we can all move toward real financial independence together. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss our next deep dive into the strategies that the wealthy use to stay ahead. We will be talking about the 3 tipping points of wealth and how you can hit them faster than you think. We will also explore how to build a rock-solid portfolio that protects you from inflation and market volatility. Remember, the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to be rich and truly free. Do not let a shiny truck stand in the way of the life you were meant to live. Do not let the expectations of your neighbors dictate your financial future. Your future self will thank you for the discipline and the courage you show today. Thank you for watching and for being part of this community. Success is a slow process, but it is a guaranteed one if you follow the math and stay consistent. Drive safe, stay focused on your long-term goals, and more importantly, drive debt-free.